Right. Let's try this again, and let's hope that the cars just don't do a jump start this time. Welcome back to WOR Tier 1 on PlayStation in Bahrain. If you missed the previous one of the cars decided to go AWOL and cause everyone's tires to go cold, and we thought that wasn't fair, so we are going to get underway once again. As a reminder, qualifying tires have to remain the same, so everyone in the top 10 must start on the softs, and those in the bottom 5 have a free choice. I do believe they have to remain the same, and don't forget your setup, ladies and gentlemen. If you forget your setup, then you're going to be driving like you're driving in the wet in Saudi Arabia, like PSGL PC. And yes, that did happen. So off go our drivers again. I do believe that... Actually, no, Jabraka's grid penalty has been removed, so I think he's had appeal successfully against that. Hyper's actually changed to mediums. I think that's what he meant to change to, so I don't think he'll face a penalty for that. The cars are actually swapped around. Lorry is in a Alpine this time, and Hyper in a Red Bull. I think that's the way it was supposed to be, because they did join mid-qualifying. Should be a one-stop tonight, I hope. To be fair, I prefer two-stop races more. It'd be interesting if we had more of them in 2022. So Jensen will lead the pack around turns 11, 12, all the way through to 15 before lining up on the grid again. This section I always slide around somewhere at. You see why Jensen's moving from side to side? That is so they can get some temperature in those tires. If we have cold tires, then you're gonna have no chance with the grip on these corners. The tires shred, literally, in Bahrain, as the drivers are ghosting up, readying up, lining up onto the grid, because that's what ghosts do. I'm not sure if these grid positions, I think they're too narrow, they're too close to the middle of the track. I think that should be moved to right. Alright, everyone is lined up, ready to race. So, I think without further ado, let's get the show on the road for once. It's taken a while, but we got there in the end. We have 5 lights ahead of our drivers. And we're off! Let the wars begin! And Jacopo immediately getting challenged by Tom. It's the Aston Martin show all over again, as Tom attempts to take second place as Jensen leads the pack, but Tom's actually squeezed out and falls down to 4th. Surface takes second position ahead of Jacopo as they head down into the 4th corner. It looks like they are moving in an orderly manner, but no, Tom and Jacopo are battling again. Tom does not want to lose this fight, and he's probably going to have to cede the position to Jacopo, who doesn't want to lose another one. He's already lost second to Surface, and Andrea trying to get into the mix as well, as Tom makes a diving move on Jacopo, but he can't get it done, and now he's being challenged by Andrea for 4th position, heading around to turns 9 and 10. Hyper makes up 5 positions already. Where has he come from? Jake Marsh in the battle with Karafoulides, and Karafoulides slid around by Jake Marsh as they collide, going into turn number 10. Now making their way towards turn number 11. It is Jensen, Surface, and Copo, Tom, Andrea, Marlon, Smalley, Paris Cara, Vengeance, and Hyper, your top 10. And then Jake Marsh, Karafoulides, Jabraka, Lori, and Dan Spree in the back. Dan Spree's had a horrible start. He's already fallen right to the back of the field. His day's just getting worse. And look at this, Andrea right in the back of Tom. This is good for Jensen's title charge. But I don't think he's concerned one bit about that. He's concerned about getting the job done. Tell you what, he has a really good run of him. Heading down to the first corner, and Tom goes to the right. He's going to make a defensive move going into the first corner, and it seems to work. Tom cannot get the move done. Andrea cannot get the move done, I'm sorry. Dan Spreen has already come into the pits. But these two still battling, I tell you. They have been battling nip and tuck all day today. Well, all day as it's only been the second lap. And Marlon coming in there as well. He's trying to get involved. Remember lap freeze when DRS will be enabled. Meanwhile, Jake Marsh gets a move back up to 10th place by overtaking Hyper, and back into the points he goes. But Jensen is already 8 tenths ahead of Surface. Well, cut it down to 3/4 of a second now, 7 tenths. But it's going to be a massive hill to climb for Surface. He's going to have to get off the surface and get up into the stratosphere to try and combat Jensen, who's just still running away by the looks of it. It's actually been cut down. But he still leads. And Andrea trying to get somewhere near to Tom. It doesn't look like he's going to get that done. It looks like DRS hasn't done him any favours. It's actually done more favours to Tom, who manages to build up a half a second gap. Gap at the top is about 6 tenths as they head around to turn number 8. Or is it turn 7? I'm not sure. It's turn 8, yeah, it's turn 8. As they found to turn number 10. Laurie is already pit. Free drivers are pit. Laurie, Dan Spreen and Jabraka. Laurie's going to go for hards. This is an interesting move. Trying to hope they get on to as Dan Spreen. It's already made his way up to 13th. Hang on. Jabraka is in 13th right now. For some reason I think he fell down to the back. I don't know what's going on there. Probably a timing glitch. But for now, Laurie is at the back on hards. Yeah, I think Jabraka glitched out there. And Surface has got really close to Jensen there, but he could try and get him here out of turn number 3. The gap is 3 tenths. Is he going to try and close it any further? He has the DRS on, but no dice, alas. He will have to stay behind for now. He is trying to put a run on Jensen. Jensen has only failed to finish in outside the podium positions once. Once. And we're only halfway through the season. DRS zone again for Surface. But he still can't get any close. 4 tenths remains the gap. He's going to have to find some extra time. These corners can help if he gets a good entry into it, which I think he has done, but Jensen's got a better one. So he keeps the gap at... Actually, no, it's falling under 4.5 tenths now. What will happen into lap number 5? He's trying to find some speed, but he's not going to get anywhere near him for the meantime. Doesn't seem to be many changes. Well, I stand corrected. Miltos, he makes his move up into 11th ahead of Hyper, who's now being challenged by Jabraka. Jensen fends off Surface for another straight. Meanwhile, back here, Karafulidis keeps his 11th for the meantime, and he is about 2.7 seconds behind Jake Marsh. But remember, they are on medium tyres, those three. Jake Marsh and everyone above him on the softs. Look how close Andrea is to Tom. But Tom also has the DRS, so it's going to play it in his favour. Massive train bunching up together, which is commonplace considering how close these drivers are in terms of performance. Andrea has cut the gap down to 3 tenths. And it looks like he's going to try and set up a possible move. Whoa! Very close to Tom there. He late braking out of turn 14. I think that's done him more harm than good, but here he goes. He might be going for 4th place here. No, he backs out as I was just about to check. Sorry. Surface got very close to Jensen. I had to cut away because this is for the lead. Surface can't get past Jensen again. And look who's joining the fray, Jacopo again. As Vengeance has moved up to 8th place for a move on Panos, Kara and GR. GR standing for Greece. I have 2 Greek drivers in the field, I do believe. If there's another one I forgot, correct me if I'm wrong. I know Miltos and Kara are from Greece. Greece has a popular F1 following in the game. Unfortunately, no real-life drivers from Greece, which is quite a shame. There was plans for a Greek Grand Prix once, it just never materialised. Marlon now trying to join the Tom Andrea feud. There could be 3 sides to this war yet. We'll see how it unfolds in the next few laps. Of course, the gaps can change and twists and turns can happen. Hopefully force everyone into a mistake. As the leading pack start lap number 7. Surface he's cutting down to 2 tenths, but he just can't find the move. He's way too far back to make a move. But look at this, the top 3 bunched up together now. Surface is closer to Jacopo than he is to Jensen. This isn't good, and we have lost Jabraka. I should put the map on, by the way. Not the mini map. Jabraka retired in the pits, I'd just like to mention. Marlon getting very close to Andrea now. Cutting the gap down. Well, now the gap's starting to build up at the front. 6 tenths now. And Surface is trying to not crack hot under the collar. Because he is starting to lose some time to Jensen, and this is only working out for Jensen, and you might as well give him the trophy right now if he is going to be speeding away, because Jensen being Jensen, after all, he is one of the best drivers on the platform. And he has proved it time and time and time again, in not just WOR, but many other leagues. A possible contender for a future esports drive, perhaps. No one can seem to get close to anyone today. Once again, no moves being made in the top 5. And further down, making the way to, unfortunately, the place where Roman Grosjean crashed in 2020, the delayed 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix due to COVID-19, and had a horrendous accident, and it tore the car in half. For those of you who are not aware, it tore the car in half. But he got out in like 25 seconds in a blaze. I wouldn't say a blaze of glory, because that was his last race in F1. He was forced to miss the final 2 races due to a burnt hand. It's incredible how he got out so quick. But anyway, back to the race. The gap remains at 6 tenths for Jensen, Surface and Jacopo. Closest gap I can see is Andrea chasing down Tom. It's black versus green. Of course, it will not be black next year, it will be silver. Silver with some turquoise or like light sea green and some red at the back for Ineos. It's quite a shame to get rid of the black. I loved the black Mercedes. It was like Darth Vader and his Batmobile. That's a crossover I never thought we would have. Andrea takes a peek, but he ain't going to get anything from it. He stays behind Tom in 5th as the leading pack approach turn number 3 for the 9th time. Turn number 4, I should say. If you're wondering why I don't speak continuously, it's because I love to let you hear the engine noises. The official soundtrack of Formula 1. The Ferrari, Mercedes, Honda and Renault engines. There's a boy band I never thought would come to existence. Doesn't seem anyone that seems to be getting close to anyone. They're approaching them because DRS being DRS, but it just doesn't seem there's any moves taking place. Good thing we're using new cars next season. And different physics, so Codemasters, you better up your game and get us some classic tracks as well. I mean, if Gran Turismo 7, as much as you can hate on their microtransaction system, brought us the return of Trial Mountain and High Speed Ring, why not bring back Hockenheim and Sepang? Oh, and Andreas coming into pits. He's going to do the undercut on Tom, and Marlon has also come in, which means Smalley will be elevated to 5th. And top 5 now becomes a top 4. Also pitting are Vengeance and Panos Cara. And I do believe that's it for now, unless Dan Serene and Laurie decide to turn heel and go into the pits. So that'll be a warning sign that Bono, the tyres are gone. Haas in their horribly offensive car. 6 tenths behind Jensen in the now sponsored by Aramco Aston Martin car. And speaking of Aramco, there it is. This is not sponsored by Aramco, but the game definitely is. Just seems unstoppable in that car. He's a main green fighting machine. That isn't even doing any fighting. It's just chilling more like. This is chilling. Seeing him dominate race after race after race. You might as well create a tier 0 and he can be in it. Imagine Formula 0. Oh wait, that's a game, isn't it? Look at this! Surface, Jacopo, Tom and Smalley have all pit, and Jensen has decided, you know what? I'll stay out. And I think this is all of Aston Martin's master plan. Tom is pit, so Jensen doesn't have to worry about the double stack. And Tom has fallen behind Andrea. Sorry, I didn't commentate much, but Tom's coming back at him. You think you're going to take my position? No chance, says Tom. But Andrea's not happy, he wants it back. Sorry, I cut away. I didn't speak during that. I had to check the live chat. There's only one comment. So Andrea, stuck behind Tom, seeing the back that just says Aston Martin, again, a sight he's getting very sick of seeing, and he's actually fallen further behind. Meanwhile, surely Jensen has to pit this lap. This is not looking good because Surface can immediately gain time from this, and here he comes into the pits. Now, ignore Carefulness and Hyper. They're on the mediums. They'll still have to pit. It's Surface we have to watch. Who is going to take the net lead? Oh. Jensen has come out the pits. But here's Surface. Who's going to come out in front? There's Jensen! He's nowhere near! Jensen has lost 2 positions, maybe 3, as they head into the first corner. And Jensen is... And Tom is coming through as Noel, his teammate. And they're right next to each other. But Jensen asserts the lead position. Tom has to play the role of number 2 driver. I'm surprised they didn't do the switcheroo to give Tom some breathing space and try and challenge Jacopo and Surface, but there you go, Surface now in the net lead. But what Jensen has that Jacopo and Surface don't is he has the fresher tyres, so he will have the advantage approaching near the end of the race. Tom's job is pretty much keep the others at bay behind him. He's going to have to play defence. The British Ministry of Defence, they call him in the WOR world, and there's a spinner off. I do believe it is Laurie. Yes, Laurie, who has had a horrendous race after he joined late in the session. Now falling behind once again as Jacopo trying to challenge Surface for the net lead. As you can see, the ping is not very good. It's on 1 bar. But here's a chance for Jacopo to strike gold. He's approaching him. He's got a very good run on Surface. Will Surface respond? He surely will, coming out of turn number 3. Will Surface challenge him as he comes back? And he's actually made a mistake, Jacopo. Will Surface take advantage of it coming out of turn number 3? Here we go once again. Jacopo knows he has to defend this. Can Surface get anywhere near him? No, he cannot. Jacopo takes the net lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix in WOR PlayStation. Andrea has been battling with Tom so long, he just can't shrug him off, can he, Tom? Tom just needs to keep the others behind him at bay so Jensen can run off. Hasn't all been plain sailing for the Aston boys tonight, as Vengeance has spun out of turn 10, dropping him down to 12th. So Carefulness with a penalty and old tyres leads ahead of Hyper, but the net lead is held by Jacopo, who's running clear by 4 tenths. But here comes Surface. He wants that position back. And Jacopo is like, okay, you can have the position. I'm going to try and get back at turn 4. How about that? He's very close to him, but I think a little too close. Because here comes Jensen now. He wants to get involved. He wants to position back as Vengeance retires from the session. But no, he's too far back. Jacopo gains some ground on Surface, but Surface retakes the net lead. Will be interesting to see how they fare near the end of the race. Jensen closes the gap even further. Please don't take note of the yellow flag. That is just because Vengeance is retiring. I don't know why they do it in the pits. Fix for the next game, please, Cody's. Surface has built a big gap to Jacopo, now half a second, but now Jensen is about 4 tenths behind. Will there be a change in the pecking order coming up to the halfway point of the race, lap 15 after this? Carefulness will trigger the control line. And boop, there it goes into lap 15. And Jensen right on the tail of Jacopo, but Jacopo right on the tail of Surface. I don't think he's far enough back to try and deter a move. Or is he? He's going to try and look. And he runs right at the edge of Surface. But he doesn't scratch the Surface at least. As Jensen has a great run out of turn number 2 and is getting close to Jacopo. But with Jacopo having the DRS, he won't have that chance yet. But he's now right behind Jacopo. And Jensen's going to try and work his magic once again. And we know, with Jensen being Jensen, he's unstoppable doing this as Laurie has another incident. It's just not been the driver's day in his reserve debut, and I think he's retiring from the race. Yeah, he's retiring from the race. So we're down to 12, halfway through the race. Now, what is Jensen trying here? Nothing by the looks of it, as Jacopo continues to hoard DRS from Service. Normal Surface resumed. 2 tenths the gap between second and third net. Oh, he's getting really close now. Look at them all three. They've all got DRS, but who's going to blink first? I think it might be Jacopo. Surface is just letting him through. It's 3 wide going into the first corner. And Jensen, they touch wheels. And I think Jacopo has got through, but now Jensen will be wanting revenge. He's not happy. He's green with envy, and my goodness me, Jacopo defensive moving to the right. But Jensen goes on the outside. Jacopo, massive defense here. It could be considered dangerous driving. And Surface has lost 2 positions in 1 corner. Falls to net third. Jacopo still has the net lead. Now, has Jensen have any damage from it? Not by the looks of it. It looks okay, but he wants that position back. He felt he was pushed off out of taking net lead there, as Panos Cara gets a penalty. Second driver to accumulate one today behind Karafilidis. So both Greek drivers have penalties now. I mean, that just adds to their turmoil. Dan Spree now getting a penalty. But wow, Jensen has got past one, he's got to get past the other now. 4 attempts the gap between him and Jacopo, but with Hyper and Karafilidis coming up ahead, Jacopo might acquire the DRS. But Jensen is going to make sure Jacopo doesn't get that chance, because Jacopo has got no DRS. Jensen does. Is there going to be a defensive move from Jacopo, or is he going to try and make the move into turn number 4? He's lost a bit of ground out of turn number 1, has Jacopo. I don't think he might get the chance. As they head up towards turn number 4, I think it's safe to say that Jensen has run clear and into the net lead. Now he's got to pass the 2 non-pitters, Karafilidis and Hyper, before the leading pack catch up to him again. Tell you what, the last thing he'd want is a safety car, because he has fresher tyres than the other bunch. The bunch behind him, that is. But boy, is Jensen want to make these moves immediately, but Hyper has the DRS, so he won't get to make that move yet. They won't be pitting for another few laps, I have to say. But Hyper makes a mistake, and Jensen's going to try and take advantage by making a move on the outside of turn number 12, and through goes Jensen into second place overall. And this creates a bit of a bridge between him and Jacopo, with Hyper in the middle. But remember, these two, Hyper and Jacopo, are teammates in terms of esports teams. Oh, we've lost Panos Cara! We've lost Panos Cara. He's crashed at turn 12. Just before turn 12, we don't have a clip of him. And Karafilidis and Hyper have pit. And Tom and Surface are battling for third position. Side by side on the outside, Tom locking wheels into turn number 2 now. And Tom gets brilliant move. A brilliant move out of turn number 3 as Look at this, Andrea going around the outside, but I don't think he's going to get the move done. Or is he? Surface going wide, and now they're side by side heading through into turn number 8. 7, sorry, 7. And now Andrea thinks of making the move at the actual turn 8, but he won't get it. In fact, Marlon is closing up now as well, but Andrea closing up again. So Jensen in the lead once again. Overall. Bit of squabbling between Surface, Tom and Andrea though. But I think Surface has run clear of Andrea. Yes, for the meantime. But Andrea keep tabs on Surface and Tom. We're down to 11 drivers now. Remember, you've got to finish 90% of the race to be classified. So you finish 10th and retire with 80% of the race complete, you get no points. Harsh, but that's the rules. Just like in Eurovision. I don't make the rules. So top 7 and a bit of a big pack right here. Top 2 trying to break away. As Smalley, a driver I haven't talked about much, chasing down Marlon for 6th. I have to mention, by the way, Dan Spreen has done 15 laps and he's got a puncture. He had a massive puncture. He's going to have to come in for that. Oh well, Jacopo still 3/10 behind Jensen. And Smalley right behind Marlon. And Dan Spreen has spun at... he's actually got 2 punctures. He's got one at the rear as well. His rear left and rear front punctures. And he's going to have to come into the pits for a change of tyres. Oh! Well, he will be changing his wing as well. Adding further to his woes. And the leading pack are about to lap him by the looks of it. Because he will be pitting. No yellow flags, it's off the track. Dan will have to come into the pits. And I think he actually cut it too. Look at them, his tyres are absolutely shot. Oh! Tom! What's happened to Tom? He's spun at the back! Tom... He's lost his front wing. I think he crashed into the... And he's run into the... He's retired! He's retired from the race! As he comes forward in front of Dan Spreen. Tom's called it a night! And I think that's a concession of the championship there, as the fastest lap has been set by Hyper and California, but that's because they are on the soft tyres. But remember, no points for the fastest lap in WOR. Just for finishing the race. And you know what? I agree with that. Although they should give points. And Jacopo has a 3-second penalty. It's like falling into place for a jigsaw puzzle with Jensen, and Karafoidis has got a penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. I think he might have overtook Jake Marsh. I'm sure that's going to be removed because I didn't see anything wrong with that. If Karafoidis didn't concede the position and Jake Marsh didn't get through, then there's got to be something wrong with that. Oh! And Jacopo has got ahead of Jensen! I did not see that either! But remember, he has a 3-second penalty, so Jensen will still technically have the lead. I'm missing everything, my goodness. So Jensen now in second, but he's really closing up to Jacopo. He's going to try and make a move on the inside at turn number 1. And back into the lead he goes, but he knows Jacopo will be back for more. Jacopo right in the back, he's going to get the DRS and the run into turn 4 as there's a... Jake Marsh has retired at the edge of the pit lane, I think. Oh, and yeah, yeah, it is at the edge of the pit lane. Tom has finally been lapped by Dan Spreen. But I don't think we're getting a safety car or something here. No, I don't think we are. He's crashed at the end of the track. Yeah, we're not getting a safety car. So we're down to 9 drivers, and Dan Spreen, if he can finish 75% of this race, he's going to be on for 2 points. Jacopo got really close to Jensen again, but Jacopo can't seem to make the move. Remember, Jacopo is under the watchful eye of the stewards, or is that Jabraka? I forget. Because Jabraka, one of the AlphaTauri boys, was involved in an incident in Canada. Just a reminder, this season of WOR is brought to you by SimStaff. With SimStaff, you can hire experienced team managers, race stewards, and commentators even for your league. And this is no joke. You can book your team there at simstaff.net. As Andrea has lost the position and is about to be overtaken by Marlon for 5th. So Andrea really starting to struggle, but Marlon goes wide and Andrea takes position back. Dan Spreen, I should mention, is a lap down. But yes, we are sponsored by SimStaff. It says, league races are only as strong as their team. They have a profile on Hitmarker if you want to check them out. So it's in the WR Discord. I almost forgot to mention SimStaff. I think I should be mentioning them every race. So I do apologise to my friends at SimStaff for forgetting it. Because I know it was a requirement for PSGL to mention their sponsor. As we see Jacopo closing up. I do apologise, my voice is a bit subdued. A bit of a sore throat tonight. Don't worry, I've not got COVID. Jacopo right up to Jensen. Jensen is going to have to let him take the position, but he knows Jensen will be back for more. Coming around turn number 3. Now what kind of run is Jensen going to have? It's not a good one, I have to say. He's lost time. And this game of switcheroo has taken another twist. Jacopo's got to hope that Jensen makes a mistake. And they'll be on level terms. Gap seems to be building now though. I think Jensen actually might be strategic and let him on his way. Because he knows that Jacopo has a 3-second penalty. It's probably not going to get removed, as it was his own admission. Andrea closing up to Smalley now. But Smalley closing up to Surface. I should mention he is about 3 tenths from Venom's grasp. But Surface seems to be running away as he has the DRS! Jensen takes the lead again! Is there anything that can stop Jensen this season? I don't think there is. Good luck trying to find a cure to Jensen. And I don't think he's going to get overtaken either. Nope. Jensen takes the lead back. 6 laps to go. Top 6, I have to mention, are running very close. And then there's the rest, who are pretty spaced out. Karfoulidis is about 12 seconds away from Marlon. And Hyper about 3 seconds behind Meltos. And Dan Spreen is still lapped, unfortunately. But he will score 2 points if he can finish the race. So he can at least take that away. Now, is Jacopo going to have a run on Jensen? I think he's too far back. And again, I have been wrong before. He gets close, but not close enough, and Jensen having a better run out of turn 3. I think he should be A-okay. Yes, he will. No mistakes through there, but Jacopo makes one. He actually loses a bit of time. 5 laps to go as we head through the midpoint of the course. Jensen potentially stretching his lead even further. If he wins, he'll have 162 points. And his nearest challenger, who would be Tom, who scored nothing. So Surface could overtake Tom for second here in the championship. Surface would have 72 points. So the gap would be to 90 points. Ridiculous scores. But Jacopo trying to put a stop to Jensen's dominance. But no, he stays behind again. Jacopo is not finished with Jensen yet, as we'll have the DRS heading up into turn number 4 for the umpteenth time. I'm sure he's getting sick of it. Surface and Smalley also battling back there. As the gap closes to 3 tenths up front. Please note though that Jacopo has a 3-second penalty. I don't know who's more dominant, Jensen or Sam Corby. You decide for yourself. Oh, a bit of a slide for Jacopo. But I don't think he's going to get any close to Jensen right now. Three laps to go here in Bahrain. And Jacopo closing up to Jensen. He's going for the move, is he? No, he backs out at the last moment. Now, will he try a move? Oh, I don't think he's going to get it with that. No, he's fallen well behind at turns 1, 2 and 3. And he's not going to get any close to making a move. No one's getting a close tonight, I tell you. It's a good thing they're changing these cars. As there's a yellow flag in Sector 1, it's Hyper. He falls even further back, losing ground on Carafulidis. Looks like it will be 8th place and 4 points for him. Just to let you know, I will not be able to do interviews after the race. I have some errands to run after this. I do apologise to everyone who wanted an interview, but you know, sometimes personal life is more important. Two laps to go once we cross the line. And I think Jacopo's running out of steam. He has fallen back to 6 tenths. He's closing it down though with the DRS and Jensen having none. Closes the gap to 3 attempts. Closes it further, but it doesn't seem like he's going to get a move done. Jensen started on pole. It looks like he's going to finish up top as well. And if he can hold on, this will be his 5th win of the season and 4th consecutive. Insane stats, just proving that he is always dominant on these tracks, on these streets, the PlayStation streets. There is nothing that anyone else can do to topple Jensen. He comes across the line to start the final lap. Jacopo will have one last chance, but remember he does have a 3-second penalty, so his chance of winning are pretty much over. He's just bridging the gap between him and Surface. So at this rate, Jensen's leading the championship will be 87 points, which is ridiculous to think because Surface will inherit 2nd. Dan Spreen will be finishing a lap down by the looks of it, but Jensen has been charging away from lap 1. And oh dear, it gets worse for Jacopo. He's run wide, but luckily no one even close to him. But he will still have to serve that penalty as Jensen comes around the final few corners to wrap up a 4th consecutive victory. I think we should just hand him the championship trophy, and now he cannot be stopped. He is going to take a quadruple of wins here at Bahrain, and he's already celebrating. It's Jensen once again. Surface will take 2nd. Smalley's going to get 3rd. In the end, Jacopo finishes at the back of the leading pack, 6th. Andrea 4th, Mullen 5th, Jacopo 6th, Karafulidis 7th. Hyper is and Karafulidis runs into the wall. It's not what you want to do. You're going to pay for the repair bill of that. Hyper coming across the line in 8th, and it should be Hyper Dan Spreen in 9th, which he doesn't need to finish, to be fair. He's going to be classified 9th anyways, he's 1 lap down. And now he comes for 9th place. 4 on the trot for Jensen. No one can stop him today. He now increases his lead in the championship to 87 points. Astonishing numbers. And there's 7 races of the season to go. He keeps his form up. He might wrap this up by round 11. Of course, there could be many twists and turns on the way. There is a break week next week, I do believe. I can confirm my calendar. Yes, there's a break week next week. So we'll be back in 2 weeks on April 8th for the Mexican Grand Prix. So here's your results once again. Jensen wins ahead of Surface. Smalley, Andrea. We had 3 Greek drivers in the way. I do apologise, Surface, for missing you out. Smalley, Andrea, Marlon, Jacopo, Cavalis, Hyper, Dan Spreen, Jake Marsh, Tom, Kara, Laurie, Vincent Braca. The bottom 6 did not finish, so Jake does not get a point for finishing in 10th. He DNF'd. And that means we get to take a break. Finally, my voice cords are saved for a week. We can all lie down, chill out, and enjoy a week off. Well done on Smalley getting his first tier 1 podium, sorry. That'll take him up to at least 23 points, I do believe. Alright, I thank you all for watching. I will see you in 2 weeks for Mexico round 9, the championship, the second half of the season. Will anyone stop SHZ Jensen? I highly doubt it. You never know what can happen in WOR. Until then, I'll see you on April 8th. Enjoy your week break, drivers. Good night.